I'm about to make my predictions for the Stanley Cup Finals between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Florida Panthers. And again, normally I don't usually do this stuff, but I get some ads on Instagram that's like, predict the outcome. And so I figure, well, I'll just screen record this. It's an easy way to make a video without putting too much effort in. I'm still been working hard. I finally finished working on my series of ranking every single goalie mask worn this season. I've got the ranking down, but the window for my recording of it, I used that mostly last night. I had like a 3 hour period. That's why I'm splitting it into so many videos, because otherwise it's going to be like almost 3 hours of ranking stuff. But then the microphone had this weird buzzing noise in the background, and so I can't even use my recording. So I'll have to re-record the entire 3 hours at some point, and I just don't have as much time to do that big of a recording. So that's coming. It's coming. I'll be able to do that pretty soon, but not next week. Won't be the goalie mask week. But anyway, enough about that. You'll see that soon. Now let's predict the outcome of the Florida Panthers Vegas Golden Knights series. Last time they didn't ask me how many games, so I'll tell you how many games I think when the time comes. If they don't ask, maybe they'll ask this time. But they ask a bunch of different questions, so they'll ask you who you think will win, but they also ask other random stuff. So let's make my picks. Who will have the most points in the Stanley Cup final? Man, it's hard not to go with Matthew Tkachuk. Last time I didn't. Last time I think I went with Brandon Montour for the conference finals, and that didn't really work out. I don't actually know who had the most points last time, but Tkachuk had a bunch of them. So it's honestly, it makes sense to go Tkachuk, but maybe now that I go Tkachuk, it's going to be someone else. So not totally sure. It could be Eichel as well. Barbashev though, right? Barbashev. I'll go Matthew Tkachuk. I'll just go with that. We'll have the most assists. Matthew Tkachuk. Which team will have the most saves? Oh, I really think Florida will. I hope they do, because usually I feel like Bobrovsky is a better goalie when he faces a lot of shots. Obviously, don't leave him out to dry, but I hope he gets enough to really get into his groove that he normally does. Because again, that's something that you kind of see often. Is a lot of times teams that don't get as many shots, they'll get a good one on the goalie, and the goalie's like hasn't had as much warm up with face as much shots, and so yeah, it's yeah, we'll see anyway. Who's gonna score first? I'll say Vegas, just out of nowhere. Who will win the most face-offs? Ooh, I'll say Florida. I'll say Florida. Who will emerge as the Stanley Cup champion? I will also say Florida for that. And then it asked me a bunch of stuff. So those are my thoughts on the series. And I'm honestly very divided. I say Florida, but I don't say Florida lightly. I kind of have had it in my head that I'm like, I think it'll be Florida, but I'm really scared. I am really scared. Obviously, Pinholes Graham has done his whole thing on the most rested team usually does not win the Stanley Cup Finals, at least since the lockout. I think it's been 3 teams since the lockout that have been more rested, that have actually won in the finals. 2012 Kings are one of them. I forget what the other one is, but the other one is the second one, or sorry, not the second one. The most recent one is the Colorado Avalanche last year. They did that. So maybe we're going to repeat that. Maybe we'll just be like the 2012 Kings. There are already a few similarities. We're, steaming our way to after the first round, I guess we're not steamrolling as much as Jonathan Quick and the Kings were. But the rounds 2 and 3 we were. Yeah, I really like the Panthers, but I'm very scared that they might not get a great start because of the extra rest that they've had. They might not be as into it. And Vegas is still getting a lot of rest as well because it starts on Saturday. And so I feel like that is a bit of something that favors them. So, yeah, I'm kind of I'm kind of thinking that, but I do think that the Panthers will still overcome, that they'll still be the victors. And so, yeah, that's my choice, and I will say 6 games. I think the Panthers will do it at home. But anyway, that's just extra stuff. We'll see. We'll see what they do. But I'm really excited. And let me know your predictions. Which team and in how many games? At least do that. If you want to do this quiz as well, I'll just link it in the description. So look for that in the description. And you can do this as well before things get on their way on Saturday. So yeah.